Well, today is kind of a treat, actually. It's not often that you get to work on a really old machine that has seen some life on a job site and also one that I've never worked on before. So I'm going to take you through the first 5 minutes on site when I get here. I've never worked on it before. I don't know the ins and outs of the machine specifically, but we're going to look for some things that are going to tell us pretty much everything we need to know about how to service this machine today. We're doing 1,000-hour service, and let's go. So the first 5 minutes I'm going to spend trying to figure out where all of my oil reservoirs are and where all of my filters are that I need to replace today. So dozers are traditionally harder than other machines to begin with, but on an older one, it becomes even more difficult because of access. Over the years, manufacturers have made it easier to access where the filters are and how to drop oil and replace it with new oil. And so on these older ones, it's even more difficult. Now, I know that this is the engine bay here out front, and usually on newer machines, it would become pretty easy to just pull a panel off and gain access to where the filters are. But on these older ones, it's even harder. So I know I've got filters here, and I know I've got filters on the other side as well. And so I have to take off these bolts, top and bottom, in order to take this panel off and get access. So within the first couple minutes, I know I have to pull off these panels. The other thing I'm assessing is how I'm going to drop the engine oil. And on a dozer like this, of course, we've got our blade sitting out front here. And what makes dozers a little more difficult to work on is that you have to crawl in some tight spaces in order to get to the engine oil most of the time. And on an older one like this, it's really no exception. That's what we've got to do. So I've got to come here in between the engine bay and our dozer blade right here. And there's this little space where luckily I'm not a huge person, but I can get down in here underneath to where the engine drain bolt is and gain access to dropping the engine oil. So that's the other thing that I've learned about this machine in just a couple seconds. The other thing I'm going to do is walk around the entire machine as to where I can gain access to all the filters. Now I see a panel here behind me, and there's probably something here. So we're going to see what that is. And already, yes, I've found a hydraulic filter. So this is one of the main hydraulic filters. There's one in the tank as well, but this is the main hydraulic filter that I know I'm going to change. I've got some batteries here. And another thing is the battery lockout switch that's right here. And I know in order to start it, I most likely need to turn this to on. I don't know when the last time this machine has been started. I don't know if it will start. Hopefully it will. But we're going to turn this switch here to on, and that's going to give me access to the power from the batteries so that we can start it. So on this dozer, I know I need to do the engine oil, of course. But this dozer is run by hydrostatic motors. And so I know I need to find the hydraulic reservoir and the hydraulic fluid. And off to the side, there we go. I've found our hydraulic tank. And it actually looks like this tank is very low. There's just a little bit of oil at the bottom of the sight glass, the sight tube. So I know I need to fill up the hydraulic oil while I'm here as well. And those are the oil reservoirs that I'm looking for on this particular machine. So what we're going to do next is climb up into the cab. After I know I turned the battery switch to on, that should give us access to power. But man, check out this old gauge cluster. How cool is that? This thing has seen some life, but let's turn the key and see if we get power. Oh, we got power. Beautiful. Let's see if we can start her up. Oh, yeah. I actually cannot believe she started up on the very first pull. That is a very, very good sign for how the service is going to go today. So thanks for walking around with me for just a couple minutes, showing you what I look at when I very first pull up to a job site and I've never serviced a machine before.